Greetings and welcome back to Perth. Some of the canny followers of the first episode might note there's something missing from here. Yes, I left the bike back in Brisbane. I'm flying back on Tuesday to collect it. So what happened was, there's a little bit of a story. I got a phone call from my wife and she let me know that my son had got COVID and he's got fairly fragile lungs at the best of times, so made the call just to fly back and make sure that he was okay. And that was only half a dozen days ago. It's on the weekend. Thursday today, I flew back on the Sunday. So purpose of this video is just to show you around my garage and just talk a little bit about the projects that are coming up, and hopefully we'll cover first of all the Project Mini. So over on the hoist over here, you can see I've got a 1967 Morris Mini Deluxe, and it's been an ongoing project. I picked up this car off my brother. He bought it back in the sort of the mid to late 90s, I think, probably 97. No, yeah, mid to late 90s, and I picked it up off him in 2006. Yes, correct, 2006. Things I've done to it: I put a disc brake front end on it. It's got a 1275 motor, which has a little bit of a story to it as well. I picked up a 1976 Leyland Mini Clubman back in 1998, and it came with a 1275 motor, but I was never able to register it because it didn't have the adequate pollution controls on it, and I was living in Victoria at the time, and they certainly wouldn't unless I reinstated the air pump and the head, which had the air injection nozzles and that sort of thing. So what we're doing here is an engine rebuild. I have stripped the motor and it's over on the bench here. Checked out all the rotating components and to discover they're in very, very good condition. So I'm just putting a set of standard bearings back in it. The bearings are in almost perfect condition. I'm putting a new set of pistons in it. The oil control rings were quite worn, but the bores are in good condition. I'm throwing a set of cam bearings in it. The cam bearings are literally stuffed. Not entirely sure what caused that, but you can see a significant gouge in that journal there. So I've got a new set of cam bearings for it, and this is the tool. So I'm going to be stepping you through pulling cam bearings out and reinstating cam bearings, and of course the key elements of the build. So a little bit more about this Mini. All of the interior is up on the shelves here. So I've got a full interior to install, and so inside the car we've got is a fairly empty shell there. The floors are in great condition. The car is really good rust-wise as well. I did give it a respray probably about 5 years ago, and as you can see, it's in really good condition. In Australia, these things, if they're garaged, they can be driven all year round. We don't have salt on the roads, and there's no salt to rot them out. So you can see, for example, the rear screen channel here is in fantastic condition. The roof channels and everything else, really good nick. So this one is also going to get a suspension refurbishment. So this is a wet Mini, so it's got the hydroelastic suspension on it, and I'm going to take both subframes out and take the hydroelastic displacers out of the subframes and then send them over to the UK. There's a shop there that can fix those up. And while all that's out, I'm going to give the control arm bushers, which have needle bearings in them, I'll give them an overhaul, replace the rack boots and turret ends and the like. So I'll give that a full going over, and I'll take you through that as well. I've got to do a bit of panel beating under here. This is a mess. So what I'm showing you here is where I had it up on blocks, and for whatever reason it slipped off and landed on the jack and just punched that front valance, punched it upwards. so that needs to be sorted out, and I'll also have to do, obviously, painting on that one. So that's the Mini project. The VW project is going to follow the Mini, so I'm going to get the Mini finished first. Then we'll embark on the Beetle. This is a 1959 Beetle. It had been modernised by its previous owners, so they've put indicators on here. The semaphores have been deleted, they've been taken out. It's got later model taillights on it. It's got a 63 boot lid on it. Still got the original 59 number plate light. Under here we've got the crappiest 1200. It's been cooked, so it hasn't got a lot of the important tinware in place, and as a result of that, and this one came from Queensland as well, so it's come from a tropical and fairly hot climate. As a result of that, it's overheated at some point, or constantly been overheating, and the motor's cooked. It blows oil, doesn't develop much power, doesn't run very well. It's actually, looking at the serial number on this, and I'll trace this back, this is actually an industrial motor, so it might have some point driven a compressor or a fire appliance unit, a water pump or something like that. So at some point the original motor's been taken out and replaced. So this motor's going to come out and be replaced by this little find I came across here. So as you can see, there's no body on it. I bought this because it had all of the tinware that I needed. It doesn't have a thermostat, but I've managed to get one of those. So it's missing it's got all the tinware that I need. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up and tidied up. It's the right era. I think this was a 61 1200, and it's got a very creative alternator bracketry going on there, which is pretty impressive. But what's interesting about this car is it was advertised on an online auction site, and the bloke wanted $1,200 for it, or $1,250, something like that. And you know, I looked at the wheels, and it sort of looks like a carnival or a clown car sort of arrangement. And he told me that this used to be when they used to have parades in Perth. A local radio station owned this, or a TV station owned this, and it was the platform for one of those floats that you see going in a parade. It's even got a little panel on here, which is TVW 25. So that's I think it might have been TV West or something like that back in the day. And he told me, you know, don't waste your time with this motor. It's low compression. It doesn't run. It's probably just, you know, a boat anchor. Get rid of it. In fact, he said once I've taken all the parts off it that I want, he's going to buy it back off me. But anyway, so I got it home, and I hooked a battery up to it, drilled some fuel down the carb, and it fired straight up, and it ran, didn't blow any smoke. It sounded really smooth. What I'm actually hoping is that this spent its life maybe once a year, doing, you know, 20 kilometres once a year on float duties for parades, and didn't do much else. You can see it's got air shocks, obviously to improve its load carrying. It's got, these are 13-inch wheels. I think there's a bit of a market for 13s. I'll certainly be checking that out, but they just need a good clean up, and they might be good to go. So I'm going to use the driveline from this, and I'm going to also, this one incidentally is going to be a body off, a complete body off, and I'm going to look at obviously all the suspension components and upgrade and update those as need be. The body on this is reasonably good. So we've got, this one spent some time in Cairns, so humid environment. We've got a little bit of surface rust bubbling up in a few places. Around the windscreen there's a little bit there. There might be something a bit more insidious lurking beneath. I've had a look at the heater channels, and there was a bit of a surprise in there, which is why I'm being prompted to, you know, pull it off the body and make sure the heater channels are all okay. It's got this fairly innocuous but novel interior in it. I'm going to find something more original and put that in there. What you can see here is how they've modernised it. So I'd suggest at the time the semaphores were deleted, they put these little indicator lights in here and put regular indicators in. These are sort of been modernised as well. They're going to be put back to original condition. Yeah, not much to see in here. It's a disgusting colour blue. I'm going to make it a much more in-keeping colour. When this vehicle was advertised, I bought it sight unseen, only through photos, and it was a car website, a car selling website, and the interior looked much better in the photos. The steering wheel, for example, was a nice white one which had the horn the bezel and the horn control and everything on it. This is how it arrived. Just literally, they slapped some broken old black plastic crap steering wheel on here. This hood liner was not painted black, it was the original colour, and they rattle canned it black, which looks like absolute crap, so I'm going to be replacing that as well. It has got a soft top, a rag top, so it's a Britex roof, and so it's needs some retrimming in places, but you know, it does the job. Oh, sorry, I can't open it. There's something on the roof here, but it's good to have that. That's been reasonably well fitted. Remains to be seen whether it leaks or not, but we'll take that one as it comes, I suppose. So yeah, this is the rag top here, which is quite good. And yeah, I do like the original feature of having, you know, sunshade and other things like that. So this one would come after the Mini is finished. There will be a job on this bike. So this is my 1971 Yamaha XS1B, and it used to be Dad's bike when back in the 70s. I remember in 70, probably got it in 76 or something like that. It was actually found underneath a mango tree, and I'm not sure how he paid the farmer for it, but he managed to make a deal and got this one. And he rode it around in pretty busted condition, and I got it in almost terminal condition. Nothing, well, a lot of things were missing. So for example, didn't have exhaust system, didn't have chain guard, it didn't have side covers, parts of the head were missing, it didn't have horns, the parts of the front hub were missing, didn't have a headlight bucket, didn't have indicators. So it was a bit of a labour of love, kind of sourcing all the parts and reinstating them. I'm into sympathetic style restoration. So as you can see, I haven't really polished up the engine covers. It does need a good wash. It's been just open to getting dust and everything on it, but I do like to keep things looking as if, you know, they've been used, well used but cared for. I think is the philosophy. So the job on this one is carb. We need carb rebuilds on both of those, and because what's happening is when you turn the petcocks on, you'll get fuel overflowing. So obviously the needle in the seat needs looking at, but you get a fuel overflow and it comes running down there. It's no good at all. And the other thing is I've just got to connect the indicators up, the wires, because they're sort of an eBay special, genuine ones, but the wires are just a little bit too short, so they need to be made up. Need to refit tyres. These are all dry rotted, so I've got a set of tyres there ready to go. And the goal is to get this one running and on the road, so that I can ride it as well as the Triumph. But yeah, everything else I kind of, you know, had to get a seat off eBay, and they are so hard to find because the pans rust out. These pans here. But yeah, got a good one after probably 2 years of searching. So yeah, that one also is a good project to get kicked off. Again, I'm not going to do everything at once. I'll be taking my time and pacing through. Mercedes. This just needs a little bit of maintenance work. It needs all of its fluids gone through and changed. It also has a small power steering leak, which I want to address. This has got 228,000 kilometres, and I built this one out of two identical colour. Different colour interiors. The other one had a saddle sort of colour interior. This one's got the blue MB Tex. So it's in a really nice condition. The second car went off to the scrapyard, so I took a lot of parts off it. This was the better one. This has got ABS brakes, the other one didn't, and needed bonnet, front guards, 2 doors, and got a different set of wheels for it. Very, very good running car, so it's never caused me any dramas at all. Minor work on this one is the message. So anyway, that's the update for now. Before I get started on any of these projects, I do need to I need to install and set up my compressor. So this was a 20-year work anniversary present from the company that I worked for, and you were allocated a budget to buy a memento. Some people might buy a gold watch or something. I bought this 42 CFM 3-phase compressor. I've got 3-phase power down here at the shed, so it's going to get fitted probably outside the shed in its own little sort of soundproof hut. Don't like the idea of having the compressor come on when I'm trying to focus on something. It comes on with a bit of a loud noise and kind of disrupts your thinking. So yeah, that's it for now. I am, like I said right at the start, I'm flying back to Brisbane this coming Monday. It's Monday evening. It's a red-eye flight, so I get in at 5 a.m. and I am going to ride back probably the longer way. It will be down the National Highway instead of the rough as guts roads through central New South Wales and Western Queensland. So until then, I'll endeavour to provide some more content. I'm just going to do a diary of the trip, so there won't be any GoPro footage this time. We'll just do check-ins and maybe just a bit of this type of camera diary footage. So catch you then.